The grace of God is what changes lives. The grace of God is what brings hope. The grace of God is the only hope that our world has. And for God to include us and give us the opportunity to be a part of that through our gifts and through our talents and our abilities, it's just incredible.
Welcome to TBC 10 Minute Tuesday, a podcast of Thelma Baptist Church. I'm your host, BJ Parson, missions and student pastor here at TBC. Our goal in this weekly podcast is to engage, inform, and inspire. And speaking of somebody who always inspires, that's my guest this morning, Pastor Leroy Campbell. Welcome to the podcast.
So glad to be here again, BJ.
And it's welcome back. It's really cool that you didn't welcome me to.
I almost did it on purpose.
That would have been awesome. Having you in this morning for a specific reason and purpose, and not only to inspire, but to inform us and give us a little bit of information. Friday night was an amazing night for volunteers, for leaders, that team celebration. Tell me a little bit about Friday night and just explain to those who may not be connected with the team what that was all about.
Yeah, so as you know, in order for us to do anything that we do here at the church, it takes a lot of people. To just have a service on Sunday, you've got group leaders, you've got children's ministry team, you've got the youth team, you've got the worship team, you've got the welcome team, all going all at the same time. And there's stuff that happened during the week to prepare for that as well that took several different teams. And so the only way we can be the church in our community and serve people is if everybody jumps in and does their part. And so we've got a faithful church. We have a really large volunteer team who helps keep this place going. And the idea Friday night was just to celebrate them and to say thank you. They don't do it to be seen. They don't do it to for the recognition, but it is nice to do that when you can. And so we just had a party and said thank you to all of our awesome, we call it the TBC team. And that is every single volunteer who serves in this church in any form or fashion as a part of that team. They're part of what makes this place great. And we wanted to show our appreciation to them and celebrate them on Friday night.
And it was a pretty packed house. I mean, there was a large group of individuals, and we had a song, and we rewrote some, was The Greatest Showman, and it was fun. It was interesting. And part of that, it talked about rocking babies, feeding bottles, holding doors, playing guitars, and it was everything. You know, we could have broken it down a little bit further, even to the point of wiggling the handle on the toilet, because it's everything that happens that allows ministry to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And, down to there's 2 vans here on the property that get used quite regularly that have to be maintained. There's just there's a ton of grass on this property that has to be kept up and mowed. This is a huge building. I don't know the exact square foot. BJ probably does, but it has to be maintained and kept up. I mean, it's just when you really start thinking about all that is done and has to be done. Yeah. It requires people giving a lot of themselves.
It really does, and not just giving of themselves, but giving of their time and their talents, abilities. 1 Corinthians 12, in verse 12, when it says the human body has many parts, but the many parts make up one whole body. So it is with the body of Christ. It's easy for us to think, well, I'm just a pinky toe. But if you ever lose the ability to use your pinky toe and everything is thrown off balance, every part is important. So it's important to celebrate every part of that body.
Yeah, a great example of that, Sunday morning we came in and one of our classrooms upstairs, it was hot,
AC, right?
Yeah, there's a number of units on this building, and our buildings and ground guy got here. He immediately got on top of it to figure out what was going on. He's not earning a paycheck. He's just using the gifts and the talents that God has given him to serve our church. There was an issue in the security room, one of the computers in there, and our leader of our security team hadn't even walked in the door yet, and he's back there solving a problem. I mean, it takes everybody. One of the passages of scripture I shared at the celebration on Friday night is each of you should use whatever gifts you have received to serve others as faithful stewards of God's grace. And I love that verse because one, it talks about what you just mentioned about each of us having different gifts and talents, and it says each of you should use whatever gift you have received. God has given you that gift to be used. But then it says as faithful stewards of God's grace. And man, that word steward is just manager. We are managers. We are stewards of the grace of God. And the grace of God is what changes lives. The grace of God is what brings hope. The grace of God is the only hope that our world has. And for God to include us and give us the opportunity to be a part of that through our gifts and through our talents and and our abilities, it's just incredible because lives truly are changed because someone knows how to work on an AC or fix a rattly toilet or rock a baby or play a guitar or push some buttons on a monitor all of those things.
That's it. You know, the cool part is to have a team or teams that do the work well, you have to have someone who is directly connected to those teams. And you happen to be that guy. And you do an amazing job to inspire others. And I know that you don't see yourself this way because I get to hang out with you. And it's not a false humility. You're a humble dude. You really are. And that inspires me. But what is your favorite part about being the team's leader?
Honestly, seeing people find their spot.
Yeah.
You know, people come in and it's honestly, they're excited in the beginning. Maybe they're attending worship and they're really getting a lot out of the worship service itself. And so their family is really enjoying it, but then they're ready to take that next step. And so they join a group and that's going really well. But really in both of those environments, it's about them being fed, them receiving. But then they turn that corner and they're like, okay, now it's time for me to give a little bit of what I've received, to give back, for me to offer to someone else what others have offered to me. And when people find that place and they get excited about it, and I know Will just had 2 new members join the production side of the worship team, and they're ready to jump in. They're jumping in with both feet with excitement. I got to talk to a couple of our newer group leaders recently, and they're just fired up about what God's doing. And others are already thinking about, from those groups, what they want to do. So just when people get excited about God using them.
And that's you mentioned what Will was doing. That's Cultivate, and it is it's a new thing that happens on Wednesday nights, where some of his teams, individuals who may be talented in the area of technology or running sound or music, singing, vocals, instruments, can connect there, and they use that time to train. And so that's something else that's going on around us right now. So I would ask you, what is your favorite team out of all your teams? But I know that you can't answer that. Or maybe you shouldn't answer that. So let's talk real quick. How does someone who is sitting in the pew right now, who is not connected to a team, what is their best avenue of getting connected to a team, or at least seeing what teams are there?
If they're sitting in a pew, they reach in front of them, they grab that connection card, they fill it out, and they fill in the circle that says, I'm interested in learning more about teams.
There you go.
But if you're sitting at home listening to this right now, or sitting at your desk listening to this right now, just jump on our website. Right on the homepage of the website, there is a big block that says Join a Team. You can click that block. It's going to take you straight to our teams page. There's a little blip about our teams and how to get involved, and there's a Learn More button. When you hit that button, it takes you right to a list of all of our different teams. And on there, you're going to see it at the top. If you read it, it says things I'm interested in. Mm-hmm. A lot of people's fear is like, I'm going to fill this form out and I'm going to hit send, and then I'm going to be they're going to assume I'm on the team.
Right.
That's not what this is. This is you telling us these are the things I'm interested in. This is the first step. And then we're going to then connect with you and help you find the team that's the right fit for you.
And so the words that we want to focus on is first step. So this is the first step. And you can find that www. Nobody says that anymore. Everybody just says what it is. But tlifeonline.com is where you can find that link. And get started. Take that first step. And so that's our encouragement today, is to take that first step and be inspired to be a part of a team. And so I think we covered all three things today. We've engaged, we've informed, this is where you go, and we've inspired. So Leroy, thank you for being with me today. It's always a joy to have you in, or just to sit down and talk. The very first podcast we ever didn't get aired because it was 38 minutes long. I've got that one. I'm going to save it for whenever we do extended podcasts. But for everybody else, thank you for listening. I want to encourage you to be a part of our Wednesday night at 6:30 every week for children, students, and adults. Those activities are happening here on campus, and also remind you that we have services at 8:30 and 10 a.m. on Sunday morning, and we would love to see you here. So for all you guys out there, have a great rest of your week, and we hope to see you back soon.